this spot.
Resurrection. Let your spirit reign. Resurrection. Spirit food, my people needed a lot. God gon' heal our hearts, cause they've been bleeding a lot. Yeah, let peace this fall, cause we've been beefing a lot. We need love, I just wonder if y'all peep it or not. Man, our people special, do you see it or not? The Father loves us, yes, that's true, whether you believe it or not. Y'all some kings, y'all some queens, whether you believe it or not. Ain't gonna save us, we just gotta start believing them out. Reason why we killing, cause that love we not showing. That was his commandment. So we gotta show it. Man, it be so hard to show love, man, I know it. Especially when somebody tried to hurt you when you showed it. Tired of my people out here feeling so hopeless. Living check to check, one mess up, we gon' be homeless. My people in the ghettos think our God do not want them. Thinking they nobody but our Father, man, he chose us. My people kings and queens. No, we not no docs. No, we not no murderers. Dealers on the block. God created Israel to be stars. With those images, that's not who we are. What do you want us to change away? We just want to fall in love with you. Wash away the pain. God, he love us. He just want us to change our ways. He just want us all to love each other. Wash our sins away.
Fire band, left your hood, run the water. The world of drag must be something in the water. Like moving fast, we just trying to die the slow. Part of the sheep, but the shepherd showed me up. Love in my body, y'all some full that's on the box. Stay on the road, people call me money color. The tour life, that's the street lifestyle to follow. We spit the clean, you would think we had the cover. 1,000 sheets, that is 10 more than 100. Your hood got the coats, feeling like the summer. Still giving love, though I never get it back. I started treasures where they never can extract. Stay undercover where I beat every attack. It ain't a fear, it's when I'm going to the mat. You want the truth, I'm so addicted to the mountain. We talking peace, but they so worried about the crown. Stay on my channel, got my father with a helmet. I'm sipping grapes, music on pepper now. It for the people, vote your hood for the people. Body in the temple, ain't no crosses on the street.
Nobody want us to change away. We just want to fall in love with each other. Wash away the pain. God, he love us. He just want us to change our ways. He just want us all to love each other. And he gonna wash our sins away. Gotta love each other. All my people around the world.
Shabbat Shalom, Facebook fam. To my people out of YouTube. Shabbat Shalom to all those watching us through YouTube, Facebook. I'd like to welcome each other one of you this morning, this afternoon, to week 33 of the transformation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man. This afternoon, we'd like to give all praise and all honor to Ahaya Ba Hashem Yeshaya, Royal Walk. And for those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High in the name of Christ as well as the Holy Spirit. Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 33 of the transformation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man, who is from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule. You know, you could have been anywhere in the world. So due to the fact that you decided to join us this afternoon, we do not take your time for granted. We pray and bless and hope that you God had a blessed week, that your Sabbath is going well, and that you came in this afternoon, Salakia, with an open heart and a mind of worship and humility and the spirit of love, to worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. I'm going to ask those who are coming on with us to please hit the like button for us and to share the link. For those who are watching on Facebook, to please share the link on your Facebook wall. We normally, in the past, have been live streaming from Facebook, so a lot of our people who watch with us have not yet grasped the fact that we're not there. So could you please, as you come in, please hit the like button for us and share the link on your Facebook wall. That is greatly appreciated. Today, we have a lesson today that we um, truly know that this has came from the veins of the Most High. It's one that you will, for those who watch with us, you will probably notice that my delivery this afternoon, is going to be a lot different. It's going to be different today and also tomorrow when we do our Soulful Sunday lesson, because we're doing a lot of soul searching this week. Just thinking, talking to the Most High, and the scripture that a good friend of mine's always quotes on their prayer call and on during their Sabbath gatherings is one that that stuck in my mind throughout this week. I'm going to find that scripture right quick. I want to make sure we read it. It just kept Proverbs 11 and 30. It kept. I just kept hearing it over in my mind all throughout this week, and I just started doing some self-evaluation on myself of our approach. I don't believe that we've been completely off. I'm not saying that in one sense of word, but I think that we need to take just a new look. And it's always good to evaluate yourself and to see if that you're lined up with the Spirit of the Most High. Give him Proverbs 11 and 30 right quick.
The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life.
Now, so we understand that the fruit that should be producing in our life will be leading others to the tree of life. Go ahead.
And he that winneth souls is wise.
And he that winneth souls is wise. We talk a lot, in the midst of, in our teaching. I'm talking about Israel as a whole. We talk amongst ourselves in conversations and just, whatever the case may be. And we all are saying in one way or another, we want to wake our people up. We want to wake our people up. We want to save our people. But I don't know if all the time that is what we're doing with the approach that we're taking in many cases. So if the objective is to wake our people up and to win souls, and if we're not objectively winning souls, that means that we may not be operating in the wisdom of the Most High. And so I've been thinking about that all this week, and dealing with Halloween this past Thursday. And I posted, indirectly about it Tuesday, but I always said I don't rain on people parades. I'm not going to be posting about Halloween on Halloween. I'm not going to be posting about Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. I'm not going to be posting about Christmas on Christmas. What's the point? Somebody's not going to see your post and then, and take the costume off. They're not going to do that. They're not going to tell the kids on Halloween because they saw your social media post, we ain't going today. That's not going to happen. It's just only going to cause the offense to grow. So, but I noticed, with Israel, you saw that predominantly throughout the social media posts coming from Israel all day on Thursday, right? And now the attack on Thanksgiving and Christmas has begun for many people. And the schools, like I said, what I was talking about with Proverbs 11 and 30 came from Sister Rhonda, who quotes that a lot. But something else that was on my mind was what Brother Kenny said. My Aunt Kenny said when in our interview that we did with them last Soulful Sunday, he said that as he was coming into the truth and preparing to take this truth to his family into the world, that one of the things that he always prayed was that he did not become a barbarian to the people, right? And so those things, along with other things, just this week, just had me just really pondering on our approach, D. Just really was thinking, like, are we really being effective? And then I guess the final straw was a conversation what I was having with a family member. And in that conversation, we was talking about the so-called taking down of the ISIS leader, the so-called ISIS, right?
Mm.
And I was talking to this person about it, and I said, why is it that you're so convinced? What is it that makes you, so sure that this so-called ISIS organization exists? And the person said, because everybody in the world is saying it. I said, didn't they say that everybody in the world say that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction? I said, didn't everybody in the world say that we were going into Vietnam, to save the Vietnam? Didn't everybody say that Desert Storm and all these other things was about saving the Iraqi people? So because everybody is saying it, it doesn't make it true. And as I was sitting there thinking, I heard the Most High say, the title of today's lesson. And it's entitled, Too Naive to See the Lies, Too Prideful to Receive the Truth. This is really the story of Israel right now. They're either too naive to see the lies or too prideful to see the truth. And some are dealing with a little bit of both. We often say this a lot, and I'm pretty sure many of you can attest to this, is that a lot of people in this world are too pure or too innocent to really fathom the evil in this world. It's just too pure. They're too good of people, right? Their hearts are too sweet. They're too sweet for people, right? They ain't perfect, but they're sweet. They're good. And a lot of these people are in the Christian church. And they can't fathom the fact that this world hates them in the manner that it does. We have accepted, the so-called black men, the so-called African-American men in this country has accepted that the skin color is the justification for what has come to us. This is why they live by it. But in the last week or so, maybe also a month, where we're seeing, where it's been going on way longer than that, but for a lot of people who do the Christian networks, the situation that happened at the Word Network, and the situation that has happened with Kurt Franklin, now Christians are starting to say, okay, whoa, which I don't know why it took that. But even they're starting to see like, oh, these guys don't really see us as equal. But still, they still chop it up to being about skin color. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to see the truth. Let's get Jeremiah 31. I need you to hold that and get Malachi, the 3rd chapter. Jeremiah 31. I need you to hold that and get Malachi, the 3rd chapter. Now, what we've been talking about today, what we're going to talk about today is understanding that we have been deceived, and to understand fully that there's a people out here who wants nothing more than to destroy us. Okay? And whether you have a inability to see or a too prideful heart to receive it, There's an adjustment that needs to be made amongst Israel. And without that adjustment, we're not going to make it. I'm starting here today because one of the things that is really keeping our brothers and sisters, especially in the Christian church, from receiving that they're not black, that they're not African Americans, is because when our ancestors were slaves, they were taught a religion that told them that just receiving who the world know to be Jesus Christ will make them equal with their slave masters. And it was a religion that any person in the predicament in which our people were would accept. And regardless of what has happened to our people over the years, by that same slave master, that same Christian church, that same set of people who call themselves Christians, it has not changed our people, the majority of our people, to really look at what's going on around them. So when we come to them and say that you're not black, that you're not an African American, that the Most High covenants and the Most High love and the Most High sent His Son for Israel and Israel only, it is one of the things that automatically makes them get offensive, because it doesn't include, in their eyes, everyone else. What kind of pain would you go through where you could only be not accepting the love that someone has for you because you feel that someone else might not get that love? And you will reject your own. So I wanted to start here today. Jeremiah 31, D. Let's get in verse 35 to 37.
Thus saith the Lord,
Thus says the Most High,
which giveth the sun for light by day,
uh-huh,
and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for light by night,
right,
which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar.
mm-hmm.
The Lord of hosts is His name.
The Most High is His name. Go ahead.
If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, every morning when you wake up and you see that sun shining through your windows, that is right there. In the same manner that when we see the rainbow, we see the covenant that the Most High made with Noah. In the same manner, when we see that sun shining, that is evidence to us that Israel is still the apple of the Most High's eye. Every night when we go to bed, when the sun goes down and we see the moon and we see the stars shining, this is evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that Israel is still the beloved of the apple of the Most High's eye. When you go to the beach and you see the waves roaring, that peaceful sound that we all love, this is evidence that Israel still remains the one and only true apple of the Most High's eye. And that's not a religion, that's not a doctrine, that's not a government, that's not a people, that's not a lie, that's not anything that will ever change that. Too naive to see the lies that the Christian church has given us. Many of you are too prideful to see the truth. Verse 36, 37.
Thus saith the Lord,
Thus says the Most High,
if heaven above can be measured,
uh-huh,
and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath,
right,
I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all they have done, saith the Lord.
saith the Most High. This is not a personal belief here. This is not a breakdown or interpretation. This is the word of the Most High, Ahia. Let's go to Malachi 3 and 6. And what is told to us through religion. Shabbat Shalom, Miss Renita. Good seeing you on with us this afternoon. What is told to us is that this was the God of the Old Testament, and that now the God of the New Testament is a different God now. Malachi 3 and 6.
For I am the Lord, I change not.
For I am the Most High, a higher, I change not. It doesn't make a difference whether people's opinions change. It doesn't make a difference where new religions come up. It doesn't make a difference where new people are in charge, new governments are ruling the world. He says what?
For I am the Lord, I change
I
not.
change not. So if I said that Israel is the apple of my eye yesterday, I am still the same today. Matter of fact, let me get Hebrews 13 and 8, and we're going to come back to this. Watch this. So not only is the Most High the same and never changes, Hebrews 13 and 8,
Yeshua HaMashiach, the same yesterday.
it's the same yesterday
and today.
and today
and forever.
and forever. You understand? So, ladies and gentlemen, as a result of the Most High not changing and Yeshua is not changing, read the last part of that Malachi 3 and 6.
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. And the only way, ladies and gentlemen, we are consumed is if we receive the lies of the Gentiles and not the truth of this Bible. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 32. So I know many of you may be saying, but it's lucky. I know many of you may be saying, well, that's not what I see today. Right? That's not how the world looks today. That's not what the churches is built on today. That's not what is presented to the world. Well, you need to know why these things happen. You need to know why our people are on the bottom. You need to know what happens. And stop blaming these things on external things versus what's going on the inside of us. Deuteronomy 32, I need you to hold that and get Romans the 11th chapter. Deuteronomy 32, I need you to hold that and get Romans 11th chapter. For those who just coming on with us, we ask you please to hit the like button for us and share this link on your wall on Facebook for us. We appreciate it. Deuteronomy 32, and let's start there at verse 25.
The sword without and the terror within.
Verse 18.
Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God and formed thee.
Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians 10. Now, hold your place there and read that again as you go there. Go to 1 Corinthians 10 and read that verse 18 again.
Of the rock that begat thee,
of the rock that begat us,
thou art unmindful.
We are unmindful. Go ahead.
Thou and hast forgotten God that formed thee.
And forgotten the Most Higher that formed us. For many of our brothers and sisters, especially those in the Christian church, and for those who are calling themselves conscious and woke, we believe that the first introduction that we received, who the world know to be Jesus Christ, was here as slaves. So you have many of our people today who believe, are thankful in many manners. I've heard many of our people say this, or express this in one manner or another, that if we have never came here as slaves, ladies and gentlemen, we would never have received Christianity. We would never have received Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, you are exactly right. But the truth of the matter is, Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world know to be Jesus Christ, you already knew. You knew from your inception coming out of Egypt, out of captivity in which our ancestors were delivered from. 1 Corinthians 10, D. Start at verse 1.
Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and passed through the sea.
Now, so right here we know that Paul could not have been talking to Gentiles because the Most High did not deliver the Edomites out of Egypt. He did not deliver Japheth or the Hamites out of Egypt. He only delivered the sons of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. So Paul wasn't talking to Europeans right here. You understand? He wasn't talking to Americans right here. He wasn't talking to black people, African American people either. He was talking to the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? Verse 2.
And were all baptized under Moses in the cloud and in the sea.
Right?
And did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink.
And we did what?
And did all drink the same spiritual drink.
For
they drank of the spiritual rock.
We did what?
They drank of the spiritual rock,
right,
that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach.
And that rock was Hamashiach. Now go back to Deuteronomy 32 and read verse 18 again.
Of that rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful.
So, of Yeshua Hamashiach, who the world know to be Jesus Christ, that according to the Bible, we are unmindful. And what we are mindful of, what we are connected to, what we relate to, is the Jesus Christ of Christianity. You understand? We are mindful of him, and go ahead.
And has forgotten God that formed him.
And we forgot the Most High who formed us and have taken on the God of Christianity. We have taken on the gods of the Egyptians for all you Kemet brothers and sisters. You have taken on the gods of America for all you proud wag wavers. You understand? Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to see the truth. Go ahead. Verse 19.
And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
And when he saw his sons and daughters here in America as slaves, taking on the ways of the slave masters and teaching these things to his children, he did what?
He abhorred them.
He hated that. When we came off the slave plantations, ladies and gentlemen, most of us was not dismayed of who we were. But the more time went by and things wasn't turning out the way we wanted it to turn, many of our ancestors took on the ways of America. Our people wasn't celebrating no Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter. You wasn't allowed to then. You understand? You think our ancestors back in 1876 were celebrating Halloween? You know how many of our people died during Halloween in those days? If only you knew what was going on down south for our ancestors during Halloween, you would never, ever put your kid on no Christmas, no Halloween costume. You wouldn't throw a piece of candy in your mouth if you knew what happened to your ancestors on Halloween in America during the late 18 and early 1900s. You would never, ever, ever consider celebrating it again. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to see the truth. Watch this. So what he hated it so much is because not only was they doing it, ladies and gentlemen, but they was passing it on to their sons and daughters. And now the sons and daughters of the ancestors who started taking on the ways of our people who took us captive, now today refuse to see the truth or refuse to accept the truth. Can't see it. Won't consider it. And look at what happened as a result. Verse 20.
And he said, I will hide my face from them,
Mm-hmm.
and I will see their end, what their end shall be. For they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith.
And I know this is going to ruffle some feathers. But the status of our communities, the status of our families, the status of our men, the status of our women, the status of our children should be evidence of what I'm saying here today. It's the statement that I'm about to make. If we would have really trusted in the Most High, there would have never been any reason to begin a civil rights movement. But we was too naive to see the lies that was being told to us by the people who was handing us the cash and calling the meetings and starting the organizations. Many of you have no idea that the NAACP was not started by black people, it was started by Jewish people. Most people, if you ask people that today, you wouldn't even believe that that's the truth, but it is the truth. The initial years of the NAACP weren't a black person involved in the organization. It was all Jewish people. You understand? We didn't have any faith, unfortunately, at the time because of all the pain that we was going through, to understand what was being done to us. And the Most High said, you want to take on these things? He's going to do what? Verse 30? Verse 20?
I will hide my face from them.
I will hide my face from them.
I will see what their end shall be.
And look at what the end was. Look around you. Look at your church. Look at your own family. Watch this. Verse 21.
They have moved me to jealousy.
They have moved me to jealousy.
With that which is not God.
Mm-hmm.
They have provoked me to anger
right.
with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy.
And he's going to do what?
I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
He's going to do it with who?
With those that are not a people.
Right.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
With a foolish nation. Now, it's key to understand what a foolish nation is. Before we make that trip to Romans 11, go to Psalm 14 and 1. And watch this unfold. Too naive to see the truth, but too prideful. Slocky. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to see the truth. Watch this. Now, D, read that again at the end. He said he's going to make us jealous with what?
I will move them to jealousy.
I'm going to move them to jealousy.
With those which are not a people.
Which are not a people.
I will provoke them to anger.
And I will provoke them to anger.
With a foolish nation.
With a foolish nation. Now watch this, D. Psalm 14 and 1.
The fool has said in his heart, there is no God.
That's what the fool says. D. What is taught in all the universities here in America?
There is no God.
There is no God. All of the Gentile nations that are ruling today all serve, either say there is no God or serve other gods. Is it not the facts? If America was one nation under God of the Bible, why would you see all of these things going on in this country? You understand? And what else the fool says?
They are corrupt.
They are corrupt.
They have done abominable works.
They have done abominable works.
There is none that doeth good.
That is none that doeth good. Don't that sound like the government? Watch this. Now go back to Deuteronomy 32. Read that again. And then for y'all, go ahead and go to Romans 11, verse 11. Watch this.
They have moved me to jealousy.
They have moved me to jealousy
with that which is not God.
With that which is not God.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy.
And He's going to do what?
Move them to jealousy with those which are not a people.
Those which are not a people.
I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Now watch this. Romans 11, verse 11. Watch this.
I say then,
have
they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid.
Now, so we saw here that the Most High said in Deuteronomy 32, thousands of years before the birth of a Mashiach, who the world known to be Christ, that He was going to bring us down. Did He not? Right? That's the prophecy coming from the Most High. Right? Actually, this happened before we went into the land. Okay? He told us that then. But then He said here, read that again, what He said.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall?
So Paul said, as they stumbled, because Paul was born into the Tarsus, into an area which was in captivity of Rome. Did we stumble to fall for good? But what was his answer?
God forbid.
God forbid. But what did the Most High do?
But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
Salvation has come unto the Gentiles to do what?
For to provoke them to jealousy.
Y'all see that? But because our people are too naive to see the lies of Christianity, you believe this replacement theology that everybody is equal to the Most High and everybody is accepted and everybody in Israel is done away with. See that? Watch this. Verse 12.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
Now, if the fall of the Most High's chosen lost the riches of the world, and go ahead.
And the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles.
So that means that as a result, that's how you see the Gentile countries having everything, and this depleted people calling African Americans and Mexicans and Native Americans and Latinos and Africans have nothing. Yet, many of our people are protesting, thinking that reparations will change it. They are protesting, thinking that education and opportunities and access to technology will change it. They are protesting and fighting to go into different schools and to get different jobs and affirmative action. Yet, not realizing that the reason we have nothing and have became nothing and exist as nothing because of what we did in the past. Watch this. He said what?
How much more their fullness?
So if the whole world, right, you go back and you look at every empire that has been great in this earth, who built it? Who was slaves there? Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. All four kingdoms of Daniel 7 were built off the blood, sweat, and death of the children of Israel. Were they not? Shabbat Shalom to want to give sing you one this afternoon. Were they not? What you got, D?
That Habakkuk.
Mm-hmm.
Told us about it.
Yeah. So is it not the truth that Israel is responsible for the greatness of all these countries? But they'd never tell you that. And unfortunately, our people are too naive to see the truth. You got it?
Yeah.
Too naive to see the truth, yet too prideful. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Chapter and verse.
Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12.
Bring it out.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Read that again.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
And establish a city by iniquity.
And establish a city by iniquity. How was America built? Just because they switched the word from genocide to colonization, that don't change what happened, ladies and gentlemen. And that doesn't change what the Most High judgment will be on those who did that. Read it again. He says what?
Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
Woe unto him that build a town with blood.
And establish a city by iniquity.
You see that? Now, let's go down to Romans 11. We still go back to Romans 11 and read verse 16.
For if the first fruit be holy,
right,
the lump is also holy.
Mm-hmm.
And if the root be holy, so are the branches.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you must understand that just because we are in this fallen state, in the eyes of the Most High, our status is not changed. He still sees us as the same, no matter what the religion of Christianity says. Right? Watch this. I'm reading out of Paul here. The reason that they justify Christianity, Con.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Verse 17. Watch this.
And if some of the branches be broken
and
off.
If some of the branches be broken off.
And thou being a wild olive tree grafted in among them. And with them partaker of the root and fatness of the olive tree.
Right.
Boast not against the branches.
So Paul told them, boast not against the natural branches. You got grafted in. A wild olive tree, you got brought in. How dare you boast against the natural branches? Watch this, what he said. Verse 18.
Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, and the root, but the root thee.
So he said, listen, if you boast, you're lying. Because the root, Israel, is what made way for you to come here. Look at the way it turned around, though. They making it seem like the so-called white man brought the world Jesus Christ, which he did. But he didn't bring him Hamashiach. He brought him Christianity, but he didn't bring him this. So everything that been brought comes from Israel. Watch this, what he says, though. Verse 19.
Thou will say the branches were broken off.
And is that not what they're saying? Go ahead.
That I might be grafted in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off,
Mm-hmm.
and thou standest by faith, but be not high-minded.
Be not high-minded,
but fear.
But fear. And what does Christianity teach? Israel, they'll take scriptures, what Yeshua said, he came among his people, and they believed him not. And they'll make that seem like that was the reason why Gentiles came. But when you see Romans 11:11, you see here that that's not what happened. And that's out of the mouth of Paul. You will never see that verse right there read on TBN, Daystar. No mega church will ever bring Romans 11:11. They won't never do it. One verse crumbles Christianity. One verse. And it's replacement theology, which is taught. Yet our people are too naive to see the lies and too prideful to receive the truth. Now, let's go to Psalms 83. I need you to hold that. And for those who don't have an apocrypha, if you have a separate laptop, phone, a tablet, I need you to go ahead and Google Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. We're going in that next. As we said in the outset, for those who are just coming on with us, we ask you please to hit the like button. If you have a Facebook page, please share the link on your page for us, please. The water. As we said in the outset, A lot of our people, ladies and gentlemen, are too pure. They're too innocent to really understand how much they're hated. They can't see it, and it's a testament for who they are as a people. But in many ways, it's hurting them. When we try to have the conversations of what go on in Hollywood, a lot of our people cringe. They can't believe it. When we tell them the things of the government and what's going on, it makes them they can't believe it. When we share with them how passionately and aggressively and determined that people are to destroy them, they can't fathom it. They poison the water. All these people getting sick from vaccines, they still believe in it. They're dying from the prescription drugs, they still popping it. Shabbat Shalom, Princess Ty, good seeing you on with us. They can't fathom it, ladies and gentlemen. This is going on. Now, that's why we took you to Romans 11 first, show you why salvation came to the Gentiles, and to show you that Paul warned them not to boast against the natural branches. But you see through the religion of Christianity that mostly lives off of what they call a replacement theory theology now, who is saying that the church has replaced Israel and the covenant is with Israel. Now, before we go there to Psalms 83, for those who may not know this precept deep, let's go back to Hebrews 8 and show them who the covenant is with. Before we show them who hates them and why. So let's go to Hebrews 8:8 and show them that's also a lie. You understand that the covenant is with the church. No, it's not. It's with Israel. Hebrews 8:8.
For finding fault with them.
You finding fault with who?
With them.
That's the church of Israel.
He saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant.
You're going to make what?
A new covenant.
Is that the third covenant?
A new covenant.
A new covenant.
With the house of Israel.
With who?
The house of Israel.
Right.
And the house of Judah.
You see that? So, ladies and gentlemen, the church, the Gentile church, the covenant is not with them. Don't ever let nobody tell you that lie. But many of our people are too naive to see the lie, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Now, let's go to Psalms 83. And as I was saying, and for those who are just coming on, if you don't have an apocrypha, if you have a separate phone, laptop, or tablet, please go and Google Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, because we're going into that. We want you to be able to follow along closely when we get to Wisdom of Solomon, because you need to see that what we're experiencing today was already prophesied. But most of our people don't know these things. So let me show you who hates you and why. Psalms 83. Now, before we read this, because I'm trying to take my time to make sure people understand what's going on here. Paul warned the Gentiles in Romans 11, do not boast against the natural branches. Do not start teaching that Israel was broken off so that you will be grafted in. But that is what is being taught today. Okay? When people are saying, who are the founders of Christianity? They bring you all Edomites, so-called Europeans, not Israelites. Okay? So you need to know that. Watch this. Psalms 83, verse 1.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, Most High.
Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumble.
You said who?
Thy enemies make a tumble. They that hate thee.
They that what?
Hate thee have lifted up their head.
Ladies and gentlemen, you must understand this. You have to grasp this fact in order to grasp the truth of what we're trying to bring out. To understand what the real gospel is. The people hate you because they hate the Most High. Matter of fact, let me get that verse deep. Let me show them. John 15. Get that right there. Need to show me even out of the mouth of Yeshua that he said it. I want to take my time here today. John 15, verse 18 and 19. Watch this.
If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
You see that? You see right here in Psalms 83. Read verse 2 in Psalms 83, and then we're going to go back there. Watch this.
Below, thy enemies make a tumult.
Right?
They hate thee, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
And they that hated thee have lifted up their head. Now, notice David is bringing out here that a group, well, we're about to show you some people who hate the Most High had lifted up his head against him. And then look at what Yeshua says, John 15, verse 18.
If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
Why do you think, ladies and gentlemen, that the Renaissance period ever happened? Did you think that these guys actually wanted the world to believe that their savior was a black man? So do you understand the significance and the smack in the face of your savior when you make a statement and says it doesn't matter? Do you understand that? When it's time to make a movie about slaves, they can always find a black man. When it's time to make a movie about a drug dealer or a drug addict or an alcoholic or a criminal, you can always find a black man. But when it's time to make movies about our people, a black man is nowhere to be found. When you have a beautiful, strong sister in a movie or in a sitcom, when it's time for her to get a new boyfriend or husband, you can't find a black man nowhere. You have to understand. But our people are too naive to see the lies and too prideful to receive the truth. Look at what Yeshua said again. Read it again, what he said.
If the world hates you.
If the world hate you.
You know that it hated me before it hated you.
It been hated Yeshua. And I'm going to show you why. Watch this. Verse 19.
If you were of the world would love his own.
Listen, if you do the things that America loves, they will call you African American. But if you don't, you are black. Am I lying, Deke? I told people, and I'm just putting this out here. I'm going to jump on this soapbox. I'm going to go right back in because I don't want to hold y'all too long today. I told y'all, I've been telling people, be mindful of when Hollywood so-called makes a movie for us. When they made Black Panther, I was telling people, y'all, don't go see that. It's a hustle. It's a line. Got us into this witchcraft, trying to get into this, and this back into this Pan-Africanism, so we would go away from who we were. That was the whole plan. You got people screaming Wakanda, Wakanda, not even throwing up signs that these things were signs to pagan gods. You didn't know that. You best believe they knew it. I told people, don't get caught up in this Black Panther hype. Now, they got the Harry Tubman movie out, and guess what? They're lying all through it. Got the bad guy as a black bounty hunter hunting Harry Tubman. I told people, man. You see what I'm trying to get y'all to understand what the work. It's always a hustle. And our people are going to run through the theaters. They're going to crafty council suit. They're going to run through the theaters and give these people their money. And for the most people, especially our young kids who don't know, they're going to say, a black man was hunting down Harry Tubman. And it's a straight lie. Talking about she was trying to save a nation, change a nation. You think Harry Tubman was running up and down the woods to change America? Get our people too naive to see the lies. too prideful to receive the truth. Read that again, D. It says what? Verse 19 says what?
If you are of the world would love his own.
Mm-hmm.
But because you are not of the world,
Right.
but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you.
Therefore the world hateth you. Revelation 12. Watch this. I know this is out deep, but our spirit telling me to build on this right now. Watch this. Revelation 12. Watch this. Precept upon precept. Watch this. Revelation 12, verse 17. Watch this.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman. Go back to verse 1 so they can see who the woman is.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
That woman is the 12 tribes of Israel, the nation of Israel. Remember, for those who was on at the beginning, when we went to Jeremiah 31, verse 35, what did it say? The sun, the moon, and the stars under their feet. The nation of Israel. Okay? That's who this woman is. Now go back down to verse 17. Watch this.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
That's Satan. That's the devil. It's wroth with the woman.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
You see that? You think the devil don't care about no Christians? And I know that's going to sting for many of you to understand. He don't care about that. He cares about this. The remnant of her seed that's doing what?
Which keep the commandments of God.
Who said the law is done away with?
Which keep the commandments of God.
Who said, man, you don't got to keep the holy days?
Which keep the commandments of God.
Right?
And have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach.
That's who the devil is after. Y'all see that? But our people are too naive to see the truth, to see the lies, and too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Now back to Psalm 33 and read verse 2. I wanted to show y'all that this is discussed in what they call the New Testament as well. Watch this. Psalm 33 verse 2.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumble.
Right?
And they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
So you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, that this is bigger than you. When they realized that the Most High had chose the nation of Israel to be a special people above all people, anybody, any nation, any tribe that is connected to them, they hate. Watch this. Verse 3.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken what?
Crafty counsel.
Crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Who against who?
Thy people.
Against the Christians.
Thy people.
Against the world.
Thy people.
Against the Americans.
Thy people.
Against thy people. Go ahead.
And consulted against the hidden
and
ones.
Consulted against the hidden ones. What are they saying?
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation.
Let's do what?
Cut them off from being a nation.
Right?
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. If you go to the average person who go to church every Sunday and you say, who was God's chosen people? What they going to say, D?
The Jewish people.
They're going to say the Jewish people. Give me Jeremiah 17:4. Watch this. So the council of these nations said that we're going to cut them off from being a nation, and we're going to make sure that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. So when you go to our Christian brothers and sisters and say, nah, man, we ain't black, we ain't African American, we're Israelites. People who go to church every Sunday all their life and say, what is that? A religion? Who did it to them? You're going to see in a minute. Jeremiah 17:4. Watch this.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
Thou shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
That I gave thee.
That he did what?
That I gave thee. And will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
When has there ever been a time that the Jewish people didn't call themselves Jewish? Can anybody give me a historical record where the Jewish people had to be reminded that they were Jewish? That Hanukkah wasn't popping? That the star Molech, what they call the Star of David, wasn't being waved? But there's some people right now who ain't never spoke Latin a day in their life calling themselves Latinos. There's some people right now that were living in the country thousands of years, now before it was ever called America, now calling themselves Native Americans. There's a people right now who call themselves the same color as this phone right here. Black. Or African Americans. A whole continent. See that? There's some people right now calling themselves Mexicans when in 1800 they want a so-called Mexican. You couldn't find a map with Mexico on it. There's some people that's calling themselves Puerto Ricans. When you translate that in Spanish, it means Port of Riches. Read it again. What's going to happen?
And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage.
And we shall discontinue from thy heritage
that I gave thee,
Uh-huh.
and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not.
Who did that?
For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
You see that? Too naive to see the lies. Yet too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Back to Psalm 83. What were they going to do? Verse 4? Psalm 83, verse 4? What were they trying to do?
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right.
That the name of Israel may be no more and remember.
Right.
They have consulted together with one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
Against who?
Against thee.
Against the Most High. Not you. You just collateral damage. But yet, you are defended to the T. Watch this. Who is it, D? Verse 6.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The so-called white man. They gave you what? Catholicism, Christianity, and the Protestant Reformation. Who gave you your Halloween? Who gave you your Hallelujah lights? Who gave you your Thanksgiving? Who gave you your Christmas? Who gave you your Easter? Who gave you your Resurrection Sunday? Who gave you your New Year's Eve night and told you, don't follow the law. Don't keep the holidays. That's who it is. Starting to sink in now. Who else?
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs, the so-called Saudi Arabians, the so-called people what they call in the Middle East who gave you, who Muhammad came, the line Muhammad came down, who gave you Islam, who told you that this guy named Muhammad was a prophet, who gave you Louis Farrakhan. See that? Who told you, don't worry about the law. Don't worry about keeping the Day of Atonement. Keep Ramadan. Don't call him a higher, call him Allah. And boy, you wait till we bring out that lesson on Islam. Wait till we give you that. Now, you can read all the rest of this on your own time, but I just need to show you something quickly. Let me Deuteronomy 28:64. Now, notice, this ain't our words, right, D? It's all in the Bible. The people who did this, Edom, so-called white men, Ishmael, the so-called Arabs, who gave you what? Christianity and Islam and Judaism. Okay. The top 3 religions in the world. And don't let nobody tell you that these are Abrahamic religions. Our father Abraham had nothing to do with no Christianity, no Islam, or Judaism. Don't put that on my father. But the things that you're fighting for and defending, I'm going to show you that it's part of the curse. Deuteronomy 28, verse 64.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Mm-hmm.
from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right?
And thou shalt serve other gods.
They gonna do what?
Thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou.
They ain't know nothing about no. Where was our connection on state? Okay. I can't. Our people didn't know anything about no Jesus, anything about no Allah. They didn't know anything about no Buddha, no Hindu gods, no Kemet, no Osiris. Okay? These are all gods of the Gentiles. We won't scream no O'Shea, no Yoruba, none of it. You understand? And what's going to happen?
Neither thou nor thy fathers have known even wood and stone.
Even wood and stone. The wood, predominantly, is the cross of Christianity. You didn't know that was a curse, did you? That ain't got nothing to do with Yeshaya. That is Tammuz. You understand? And what else?
And stone.
That stone, predominantly the Kabbalah stone of Islam. By the same three religions, ladies and gentlemen, that the crafty counsel of Psalm 83 was given unto you. See that? Yet our people are too naive to see the lies, too prideful to receive the truth. You understand? Watch this. Watch this. Now let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Gotta speed up a little bit, deep. Keep this in two. Watch this. We may not go through all of it. We're gonna try to get to most of it. So I have to show you this, but I got to show you this. Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha. Chapter 2. Okay. This is very important that you see this. That there's a people, as we showed you, why they hate you. And now we're about to show you in the means of which they're hating, they're trying to destroy you. It's very important that you receive this. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1.
For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright.
You see that? That they're reasoning with themselves. They didn't consult the Most High, but not right. Go ahead.
Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy.
Right?
Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
And ladies and gentlemen, you see this right here? This is why the world has a problem with Hamashiach. You see that already? This is prophesied that the ungodly will teach this. This is for you Kemet brothers and sisters, for you who are following and listening to these guys who are always attacking our Lord and Savior. This is just ain't Gentiles. This is our own people. Who say, I ain't never heard no man dying and coming back. The Most High said that they would say this before they ever said it. He ain't caught off guard. He ain't caught. Listen, man. Most High know what is going to be said before it's said. You see that? This is the ungodly. So anybody that come to tell you that, hey, Christ, that whole thing is Christ is made up, you already know who they is. You already know what spirit they operating in. What else they gonna say, Deep? Verse 2.
For we are born all at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark is the moving of our heart.
Ain't that seem like that's the theology right there of the YOLO, right? Don't that sound like the theology of YOLO? You only live once. Y'all thought this stuff was made up. Y'all thought this stuff was new. You see that? But most of you right now still got drinking your cup bumping it. Talking about you in the truth. YOLO, YOLO. Right? Who you think gave it to him? You thought he created that? Nah, Most High said we were going to say it beforehand. Verse 3, watch this.
Which being extinguished, our bodies shall be turned into ashes, and our spirits shall vanish as the soft air.
Listen, the Most High never told his people to cremate nobody. See that? So we ain't turn to ashes. Watch this, verse 4.
And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance.
Read that again.
Our name shall be forgotten in time.
He said, our name shall be forgotten in time.
And no man shall have our works in remembrance.
And no man, right, shall have our remembrance, our name in remembrance. That ain't what they say? And what else he say?
And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof.
Now look at what the ungodly saying, right? Telling you YOLO, go do it up, right? Watch this. 2 Corinthians 5. Watch this. And because our people don't know this, that's why they live in any kind of way. Because once I leave here, man, it's all over. Ain't nobody going to remember my name. My works, what I've done, will never be judged or remembered. Let's see if that's a fact. 2 Corinthians 5. Watch this. Verse 6.
Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that while we are at home in the body,
While we are at home in the body,
we are absent from the Lord.
now, so as long as we're here in this world, we're not with the Most High. Watch this.
For we walk by faith, not by sight.
We walk by faith and not by sight. Another verse that's being always used out of context. But go ahead. Another lesson for another time. Verse 8.
We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord.
Because once our spirit leaves the body, now we go where?
To be present with the Lord.
And then we go back to the Most High. Watch this though.
Wherefore we labor that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him.
You see that? So this is the part that the ungodly and the religious are missing, because Paul said, listen, we know that either we're here on earth or when we're standing before him, we need to make sure we're accepted at all times. Now, I said that to say this. Many of our Christian brothers and sisters are only treating who the world knows to be Jesus Christ as a life insurance policy, not a life assurance policy. See the difference? Versus life assurance versus life insurance. And because they're treating who the world knows to be Jesus Christ as a life insurance policy, it's just like, yo, let me go get baptized when I'm 12, wild out for 70 years, and then on my deathbed, hey, yeah, boy, I thank God that Jesus got me, and then think you're going to make it. Read that again, 2 Corinthians 5, verse 9.
Wherefore we labor that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him.
See that? But our people are too naive to see the lies of Christianity that told you straight. And they're too prideful to receive the truth. That's why they put everybody that die in heaven. Don't make no difference how they live. Don't mean how they treat people. They could be whoremongers, homosexuals, liars, thieves, killers, murderers. But they were good at heart. They said it at a young age. He be burning sage, man. He burns sage to keep off the demons. You know what I'm saying? He was a good brother. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Verse 10. Watch this.
But we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach.
We must do what?
We must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach.
Right?
That everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that which he had done, whether it be good or bad.
Yet our people are too naive to see the lies of Christianity. Are too prideful to receive the truth. The ungodly is the one that's promoting this stuff. That you can do whatever you want. But Jesus loves you. It's all about the love of Christ, right? Well, why this ain't adding up with the scriptures? Watch this. Watch this. Right, the Wisdom of Solomon. Now, because remember, now let me slow down here because I don't want y'all to miss the connection of the precept that we're giving here. You got to understand that all these are connected. We're not just going to random scriptures here. All of this is connected. Let me do a quick review so we can pull all this together. Deuteronomy 32, we said, and because our people was unmindful of the rock, which is Hamashiach, we were now brought low. And the Most High said, because we drove him to jealousy, he would make us jealous with a foolish nation. Well, we know that Psalms 14, verse 1 says that a fool says in the heart, there is no God. What do these Gentile nations teach? What do they live by? What do they promote on TV? Right? Then we went to Romans 11:11 and said that salvation came to the Gentiles to provoke us to jealousy. The same thing that Moses said he would do, Deuteronomy 32. Then we took you to Psalms 83 to show you that these same Gentiles who gave you the religion of Christianity, who gave you the religion of Islam, who gave you the religion of Judaism, set up a crafty council because they hate the Most High, right? To remove Israel's name from existence. And gave us the religions in order for us not to keep the things of the Most High. Now you're seeing the ungodly here, the ungodly, who telling people, you're not going to be judged, your name will never be remembered, what you've done won't be remembered. But we see that's not what the Most High said. You got to see all this is connected. And look at what the ungodly is doing. Let's go down to verse 10.
Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
You see that? Who doing that? Who doing that? I take the factories out of the community, right? You'll go fight at my war. I make sure you ain't getting no VA, no hospital, no medical insurance. In order for you, ladies, I give you EBT, I give you some stipends a month, but you better not have no man in that house. And then when you get old, you're nothing. Who doing that? Who doing that? Look at what else they do. Verse 11.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
Who is using the law to destroy certain people? In the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan declared a war on drugs, but at the same time made a deal with the people, with the rebels of Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Honduras to bring in cocaine and flood the streets of Africa's so-called black communities. Simultaneously, declaring a war on drugs while opening the floodgates in our communities for drugs to come in. Develop a new drug called crack, and then change the laws so that people who sold crack or did crack receive more time than those who do cocaine, was predominantly done by white people because it was expensive. Who did that? Read it again.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
Let our strength be the law of justice. Go ahead.
For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
So they call you feeble because you ain't got no money to get no good lawyer. So when you go to the courthouse, who's setting all these traffic laws and all these traffic citations? Well, if you don't pay taxes on your car, you can't drive. We'll get a speeding ticket and make it so high with the court costs, you can't pay it, you lose your license. Who doing that? They ram up the charges on you. Give you a public defender who come in and say, hey, man, hey, you ain't got no chance, so just go ahead and take this plea deal, a 10. And if you go to trial and they find you guilty, it's going to be 25. Who doing that? Who's running the government? Is it the same people who gave you Christianity? One nation under God, right? What God? Is it the same God of Revelation 12 and 13? Because the ones that they hate are the ones who are doing the commandments. Who are called to do the commandments? The children of Israel. Do you see the laws affecting Jewish people? But our people are too naive to see the lies. Too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Oh, there's more. Watch this. Verse 12.
Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn.
He is not for our turn.
He is a clean contrary to our doing.
So regardless of everything that they're doing, they know they can't destroy us. The majority of us are still connected back to the Most High, even though we don't know it. So we're only going to do so much. There used to be a time back in the day where this doesn't change a lot. But there used to be a time back in the day when you would hear something on the news and you were like, man, there ain't no black person did that. That day is over. That day is over. What else?
He upbraids us with our offending the law.
And then he upbraided us for our doing what?
With our offending the law.
The law of the Most High. That's why we're using the law to call them out for who they are. But when you are believing the counsel of these same people who say you don't got to keep the law, you're standing right there. Who are the most passionate apologetics people that you know? Ain't they all black? Passionate. Arguing with their people on social media every day. Attacking Israelites. Making videos and teachings about Israelites. But never bring an Israelite on to defend the faith. See that? Who doing that? Go on out there, bro. Go on out there. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work for us. You're a good boy. Good boy. Good girl. Watch this. What else they say, Deep?
An objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education.
Now, Deep, the definition, ladies and gentlemen, for infamy is the state of being well known for something bad, quality, or deed, an evil or wicked act. Read that again. Read that part of what infamy is, what it says.
An objective to our infamy.
An objective to our infamy.
The transgressions of our education.
The transgressions of our education. Don't the education teach, the education of America teaches that we come from monkeys through evolution? Mm-hmm. Y'all thought that the Most High was caught off guard by this? What else did they say, D? They say that, that we went to the moon. What else did they say? Vaccine is curing diseases. What else did they say? Hey, black people came over here through other forms of indentured servants, and the West was won through great pioneers and manifest destiny. And the Pilgrims and all the great colonists came over here to be friends with the Indians. Oh yeah, through education, call them Indians. I could go on and on. But it's only those who with the Most High, the righteous, who are calling out the education, the so-called education, for what it is. But most of our people are too naive to see the lies. Those same people a couple of weeks ago that was mad and upset that America is celebrating Christopher Columbus. In a few weeks, they're going to be sitting around the table with a turkey and with cranberry sauce and all of this Talking about, boy, I'm so thankful for Thanksgiving. Another celebration of the genocide of the same people that they claimed that they was defending. Oh, I'm so thankful. Show me Thanksgiving in the Bible. Oh, they did that, man. You know, this is what we show most of our things. You show me that. Thanksgiving wasn't even created as a national holiday to 1863. You think you got invited to the Thanksgiving dinner in 1863? You might have cooked it, but you better you best believe you didn't get one piece of the turkey. You understand? How many 4th of Julys were you going to in the first 200 years of them celebrating? You understand? Watch this. Look at what I'm showing you right here. This is all there, wrote thousands of years before Yeshua was even born. Moses already told us what they were going to do. Why do you think they took this out of the Bible? Watch this. Verse 13.
He professed to have the knowledge of God, and called himself the child of the Lord.
You see that? You think that this is a coincidence that now our people are waking up and telling that we're the sons and daughters of the Most High? And they said, no, you ain't. You black. And who's saying that? Our own people. Because they following the philosophies of the ungodly. Watch this, D. Watch this. Verse 14.
He was made to approve our thoughts. He is grievous unto us to behold. For his life is not like other men.
Hey, right?
His ways are of another fashion.
That's why they can't stand us. We ain't eating your food. We ain't going to your celebrations. We ain't teaching our kids wickedness and paganism. We're not dressing like that. Our women ain't putting their butts and breasts all out. Our men ain't doing that. We ain't doing it. And every day, ladies and gentlemen, whether you want to admit it or not, black man, when they see that beard and that curly woolly hair of yours, every day you out, they see a Shia when they see you. And they know it. You think they're looking at your skin, brother? Nah. They're looking at that aura around you. They know you're one of the sons of Jacob that was chosen. But yet our people are too naive to see the lies. Too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Verse 16.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
We know you're counterfeits. We know these Christians, so-called evangelicals, are counterfeits. We ain't buying that. I don't care how much money you give to the poor. The people are poor because of the policies that you created. You understand? All these people running around the country for the last couple of months. We're going to give you, just trust us, black people. We're going to get you reparations, and we're going to get you jobs, and we're going to get you equal pay. Right. And our people believe in it too. Oh, Bernie. Look at Bernie. And get out of here. Get out of here. Watch this. Go ahead.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
You see that? They hate the fact that we won't live like them and do what they do. Go ahead.
He pronounced the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his father.
Who else is doing that but Israel? They can't stand it because they know it to be true. Go ahead.
Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what shall happen in the end of him.
Mm-hmm.
For if the just man be the son of God, he will help him. and deliver him from the hands of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected.
Notice I didn't interrupt him there, because I wanted you to hear that without me saying anything. Now, as you heard that and read that, for those who follow along with us, I want you to think about the last 50 years, 60 years, 70 years in America. And does that not describe that? Just pause and think on that. Does that not describe what has happened to us in this country for the last 70 years? But our people are too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Now, let's go to Proverbs 18. Let's go to Proverbs 18. Let's go to Proverbs 18. Let's look at verse 12 through 14.
Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty.
Read that again, D.
Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty.
Now, let me read to you what the definition of haughty is. Haughty is showing contempt. It is arrogantly superior and disdainful. That's what haughty is. Read that again. He says what?
Before destruction,
the
heart of man is haughty.
So before man is destroyed, his heart is haughty. And the definition for haughty, ladies and gentlemen, is arrogantly superior and disdainful. Right? And disdainful, for those who don't know, it means showing contempt or lack of respect. Many people are, you understand? So many people are rejecting the truth simply because of the package in which the Most High delivers it in. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to sting, and I know it's fact, and that's why I can say it. The majority of reason why some of you that are going to see this video in the days to come are those who may be watching now, or many of your family members, whatever the case may be. The real reason why many of you cannot accept the fact that you're not black, that you're not African American, that you're from the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel, is because a so-called black man told you that. If a white man tell you that, you will believe it with all your heart. For others, the real reason why you can't accept it is because your pastor ain't told you. If your pastors, you done rejected it for years. But if your pastor come tomorrow and say, yo, we're quitting Sunday service, we're quitting the Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter, we're keeping the holidays and the law, statute, commandments, we're not black, we're Israel. You be all in. Okay, yeah, pastor said it, but yet the Bible won't do it. That's why you never see now. And don't get it twisted. Don't misunderstand me. I think the Most High, for many of these Gentiles that are speaking out on the truth that we are the children of Israel, that we are the children of Israel. I got friends of them. I got some that I know personally that stand up for the truth, and I appreciate them. But you will never see Better Day Minister Shan or Edomite telling them we're children of Israel. Why would I do that? I'm not playing videos of Gentile preachers saying, yo, they are the children of Israel. Why do I need to do that? Because many of these people that are saying it, and I'm not talking to brothers and sisters, younger people, but a lot of these people that you're seeing saying it now, they knew it for years. You understand it now because it's popular. We don't need you. And don't listen to these messianic so-called Jewish people who coming with this whole thing of, yeah, there's a lot of black people in the Bible. Listen. No, don't pay no attention to those guys. They just trying to control their awakening in the manner that they can. It's a shame when I be seeing on social media how our people be dissing the black church, dissing the pastors, calling them out by name. But all on lives and all on other states with Gentiles are preaching. Go and preach, pastor, preach. Oh, he telling the truth though. But attack on your own people. And many of you pastors, the real reason why you won't accept it is because you don't respect or honor the person. You don't see them as an equal to the person who's bringing it to you. It's a young man, it's a young girl in your church that's bringing this truth, cutting you up with the scriptures. You can't take it. You're offended. You're too prideful. And you'll let your whole congregation be destroyed before you admit, yo, I'm wrong. I was a Christian pastor for how long, D? 9 years before I came into the truth. You know how many times I told people not to keep the law? You know how many Easter Sundays I preached? You know how many Thanksgiving drives I was involved in? You know how many times I was on the corners, going to apartment complexes in the streets, telling people about the good white Jesus? You don't think I never done that? You don't think how I felt when the truth came to me? All of the people that listened to us and followed our ministry and respected us, I had to go back and repent. I didn't teach for 2 years on this truth until I learned it and got it down pat. But some of you sitting right there every Sunday, talking to my Ark a few months ago, he done left his church now, and the Ark said, yo, there's churches attacking him, the pastors attacking him, and pulled him in a secret meeting and said, yo, what you teaching I've been there for years, and you ain't never tell me. This is going on. So because arrogance, people arrogant and pride, you're sitting there every Sunday, every week, lying to your people for cash, for prestige and honor, and you're amongst your peers. Read it again, Deacon says what?
Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before honor is humility.
And before honor is humility. So before a man can be honored, there has to be a decision to be humble. 1 Peter 5:6 says that humble yourself under the mighty hand of the Most High, and in due time he will exalt you. Well, most of you pastors will never be exalted. You will never be rose up. You will never be truly honored in the way that you should be, because you're not humble enough to admit that we've been teaching a lie. You got fathers right now whose sons are waking up, whose daughters are waking up, bringing it to their families and sitting down pleading, just listen to me, hear me out, and they won't do it. And rather teach the rest of the family lies. Ostracize the other part of their family to make them look like they madmen because you won't admit you was wrong. Read it again. He says what?
Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before honor is humility.
So do you want to be destroyed or do you want to be honored? It's up to you. Watch this. Verse 13.
He that answer a matter before he heard it is folly and shame unto him.
Read that again, D.
He that answer a matter before he hears
How's it that most of our people don't even know the Bible, right? But they're telling people stuff in the Bible ain't right. This is what perplexes me every time. When we having a conversation somewhere, having a conversation with family members, having a conversation with friends, whatever the case may be, right? And they bring something out, they say something, and we say, yo, show me that in the Bible. And you offended. How does that offend you? Well, man, I don't know where it's at, but I know it's there. How? I seen a video where this man was offended. I'm talking about angry, and saying that the Bible said in multiple places that the Lord's Day was Sunday. I can show you several places. And he gave him 15 minutes and he couldn't show it. Not one. Because it doesn't exist. And he said, yo, you going to go back and tell your congregation the truth? No. I'm not. See that? Yo, man, we can't be the children of Israel. Let me prove it to you. Read it again.
Before destruction, the
No,
heart,
Proverbs 18 and 13.
he that gives an answer of the matter before he heareth it, it is folly and a shame unto him.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's shame, man. Some of you won't even give your family a chance. You won't even give your loved one a chance. Many of you won't even give the opportunity to hear what the Most High has for you. Matter of fact, give me Isaiah 30 and 1. Watch this. Watch this. This is why. And this is really what it really boils down to right here. Give me Isaiah 30 and 1. This is what it really is right here. Watch this.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
Saith the Most High.
They take counsel, but not of me.
They take counsel, but not of me. You go to Oprah. You go to Tyler Perry. You go to Barack Obama. You go to these guys who don't follow your Bible, who don't listen to your God, who don't know your God, to tell you how to live. Go ahead.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
And then you take cover and you put these things as protection for your family, protection for your children, protection for your business, but not of the spirit of the Most High. And why are they doing that, D?
That they may add sin to sin.
That they may add sin to sin. Tell them about that situation, D, where you was at work and the whole conversation of shrimp came up, where that person responded to you.
We was talking about, it was late night, we was checking up, and we was talking about different foods that each of us liked. And one girl, she was saying that she liked it. She didn't like shrimp growing up, but she started to like it. And she asked me if I ate shrimp, and I said no. And she jokingly said, "Oh, is it against your religion?" And I was like, just for the fact that the conversation movement, I said yes. And she's like, "Oh, you're serious?" I was like, "Yeah, it's in the Bible that you're not supposed to eat shrimp." Another lady there, she was like, "What religion do you serve?" And I was like, "I just follow the Bible." I mean, I wasn't trying to get too deep into it, but I was like, I just follow the Bible. The Bible said don't eat unclean foods. That's what I'm doing. Her response was, "I didn't read that, so I'm still gonna eat it."
I didn't read that, so I'm still gonna eat it. Not show me that. Her response was, "I didn't read that. I'm gonna continue to eat it." See that? Now back to Proverbs 18 and read verse 13 again. Watch this.
He that answer a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him.
Verse 14.
The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity.
Read that again. He says what?
The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity.
So the spirit of a man, as long as that spirit is connected to the man, to the Most High, will do what?
Sustain him.
Will sustain his infirmity, whatever's going wrong with him. But what?
But a wounded spirit.
But a wounded spirit.
Who can bear?
Who can bear? I see that. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Now, let's go to Matthew 22. Watch this. I need you to hold that and get Isaiah 20. I want to show y'all the seriousness that and how we need to make sure. I know. I decided not to go there. Matthew 22. I need you to. Right. I want to show y'all this because it sound like him at work. I know Thursday was a good day for you, Sue. I want to show y'all this because in Matthew 22 and Isaiah 10, because one of the things that we're talking about, like we said, too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. One of the things that is got our people stagnated and not receiving fully of what's at stake here is because of this doctrine of Christianity that all is welcome. The Most High gonna receive you no matter what way, you come. They always saying, "Come as you are," right? That's what they be telling me. Just come as you are. Just come, and Jesus gonna say, "Well, I'm gonna show you out of His own words that even though He will open the door to you, you can't just come any way you want to. The whole idea, ladies and gentlemen, is coming as you are, but don't remain as you are. And what is being taught is that you can just come and just continue to live any kind of way, and because your heart is pure and your mind is right and you got a good heart, that Jesus is gonna you gonna make it in." You understand? I need y'all to see that that's not the truth, man. I'm gonna show you this. The first part of this is for Israel, and the second part is for my Christian brothers and sisters. The first part is for those who already know who you are. And for someone that even though just because you know who you are, a lot of our people are getting arrogant and thinking that you can just continue to do whatever you want to. Yeah, I know it's a Sabbath, but I'm just going to do whatever I want to. At least I know it's a Sabbath. I ain't going to church on Sunday, though. That don't mean nothing. Right? James 4:17 said for him to know something to be sin and do it, that is sin. You just can't keep saying all the time, "Yeah, I know, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that." You understand? So I wanted to make sure Israel understood that this deals with us too. And this latter part is for my Christian brothers and sisters that think just because you know who Jesus is and everything is going to be all right because He let you in, I need you to see that it ain't. Matthew 22, verse 1.
And Yeshua answered and spake by them again by a parable, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king which made a marriage for his son.
Now understand, ladies and gentlemen, that to understand what this parable is, you just need to understand that king is the Most High, and that son is Yeshua, and that bride is Israel. I need you to understand that. If you don't grasp that part of it, then it doesn't mean anything going forward. Yeshua is the bridegroom. Christ is the bride. Shalaki, Israel is the bride. The church is the bride. Not that Gentile Christianity church they're talking about, but the church that was established in Matthew 16 through Israel, for Israel, by Israel, according to Romans the 9th chapter, is the bride. Watch this. Verse 3.
And sent forth his servant to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come.
So that's the Most High sending his prophets out to tell Israel to come and be prepared for this wedding. But they won't come. That means it was time to submit to Hamashiach so the new covenant will be established. Watch this. Verse 4.
Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, all the things are ready, come unto the marriage.
So they rejected some prophets. You understand? So I sent more prophets, and I told them everything is ready. The food is ready. Come on in. It's time for this marriage. Watch this. Verse 5.
But they made light of
it.
And went their way, one to his farm, another to his merchandise.
Right.
And the remnant took his servant and entreated them spitefully and slew them.
You see that? The remnant did that. We're going to show you who that remnant is in Isaiah 10. I'm taking my time with this because y'all need to see the severity of this. We ain't got time to be playing, Israel. We don't be prepared, we will be took out. Watch this. Verse 7.
But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth.
Right.
And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city.
That's captivity, ladies and gentlemen. That's captivity. That's what happened. That's what's happening. Watch this. Verse 8.
He said to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which are bidden were not
worthy. We got caught up in the greatness of what we had. We got caught up in the ideal of being chosen. We got caught up in the status. We got caught up in the creations, but not the creator. We got caught up in the gifts, but not the gifter. We got caught up in being called sons and daughters of God, but not caught up in the Most High or higher. So they was not worthy. Watch this. Verse 9.
Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye find, bid to the marriage.
This is when grace came. This is the introduction of grace. This is Yeshua going on the tree, dying, and releasing the 12 apostles to go out into the world, to bid those who are not worthy, who are wicked, who are breaking law, statute, commandments, who are doing all kinds of things, who will disperse. This is what's happening when grace comes forth. Watch this. Verse 10.
So those servants went out into the highways.
You see that?
And gathered together as many as they found,
right?
both bad
and good. And good. Go ahead.
And the wedding was furnished with guests.
You see that? You see that? Watch this though. Verse 11.
And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man which had not on a wedding garment.
So listen, you got invited to it. You had the opportunity to be prepared to come to it, but you just say, you know what? Hey, I'm going to come any kind of way. I'm coming in my own way. I got the invitation. I can do this my way. Ain't that religion what Christianity is teaching? Is it not? So now because grace was open, matter of fact, let me prove that that's talking about grace, D. Let's go to Hebrews 10, and let me show you what happened. This is out of Yeshua's mouth. So they get, oh man, you're making that up. Watch this. Watch this. Hebrews 10, verse 26. Watch this.
Well, if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sin.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Israel, you must understand that once you receive this truth, and you go out still fornicating, you go out still shacking, you go out still breaking the Sabbath, you go out still forsaking and doing the things that are not of the Most High, you can't claim Israel now. You can't claim them. You got to repent. And some of you too busy pointing fingers. You're not looking at you. Watch this. Verse 27.
But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversary.
That's what you got coming. Verse 27, 28.
He that despises Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses.
That's what happened to us during the old covenant. It won't no grace. You committed adultery, you fornicated, 2 or 3 people saw it, you were stoned to death. Game over. Watch this. Verse 29.
Of how much sore punishment suppose ye should he be thought worthy, who had trodden under the foot of the Son of God, and has counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified an unholy thing, and has done despite unto the Spirit of grace.
And despite, ladies and gentlemen, the Spirit of grace. Y'all seeing this? Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Now, back to Matthew 12, 22, verse 11. Now look at what the Most High is saying here, what Yeshua is saying through the Most High.
And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man which was not on a wedding garment. So he said, listen, I done gave you grace to come into this spot. I open my doors to you. I open the kingdom unto you. Remember, he said, this is the kingdom of heaven. I'd open it to you. He told us in Isaiah, the 1st chapter, that Israel should have been Sodom and Gomorrah.
but I still gave you this opportunity, and you didn't deserve it. And you thought that you could come in any kind of way, D? Watch what he say. Verse 12, verse 13, verse 12.
And he said unto him,
Right.
Friend, how camest thou hither and not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless.
And he was speechless because he had been taught in the Christian church, hey, do what you want to, come as you want to, live in any kind of way you want to, do it what you want to. And he was speechless. Because the Most High ain't trying to hear no Christian rhetoric when you're standing before him. And what happened? Verse 13.
Then said the king to the servant, Bind him
hand
and foot,
right,
and take him away and cast him into the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Did that sound like the Jesus of Christianity? You ain't gonna be no grace no more, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't playing. Watch this. 14.
For many are called.
For many are called.
But few are chosen.
But few are chosen. Now you see what that verse means now? You just can't throw that verse out there. Everybody was called to this kingdom. But only a few are going to be chosen. Yet many too naive to see the lies. And too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this, dude. Now I go to Isaiah 10. Remember, I told you about that remnant. Watch this. Watch this. Isaiah 10, verse 20.
And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass
in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob.
So that means, ladies and gentlemen, that the whole house of Israel ain't making it. The remnant is only going to be those who escape. If you're too naive to see the lies or too prideful to receive the truth, you're not making it. Many are called, but few are chosen. If you don't have the proper garment on, the Most High is telling you to go. What did Yeshaya say in Revelation 3 and 15? I know thy works, that you should be in the kind of cold or hot. But because you lukewarm, you got 1 foot in the kingdom and 1 foot out. 1 foot in with the Most High, 1 foot in the world. Mine on the Most High on the Sabbath, mine on my own thing all the rest of the time. I'm going to spew thee out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gentiles are teaching this hope, gushy, Philly stuff to keep you in bondage under them. You understand? Read that again, Deacon. This is what?
It shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them,
right?
But stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth.
And what?
In truth.
And what?
In truth.
Now give me Psalms 119, 142. If he said that we're going to escape, ladies and gentlemen, right? And we will not be a victim to the Gentiles anymore, right? Then he said we're going to stand on truth. Give me Psalms 119, 142.
The righteousness is an everlasting righteousness.
So the Most High, with the standard in which the Most High said is righteous, is an everlasting righteous. It does not change just because man's opinion has changed. Go ahead.
And thy law
is the truth. We must stand on the Most High's law to escape. If you ain't standing on the law, you will not escape. Watch this. Verse 21. Back in Isaiah 10, verse 21.
The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God.
Unto the Most High, go ahead.
For though that people Israel be as the sand of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
yet a remnant of them shall return.
Mm.
The consumption decree shall overflow with
You
righteousness.
see that? So it's only gonna be of Israel that is standing upon the law. Mm. Mm, mm, mm. Man, my heart bleeds for Israel, man. Let's go to Jeremiah 1. I need you to hold that and get Ephesians 6. Now let's build up now, D. Let's build up. I know we should. It's time to build up now. This last, y'all just give us 30 more minutes. Give us 30 more minutes. I said I was gonna keep this under 2, but okay. It's needed. It's needed. Now, a lot of people believe that the problem is who you are, where you're born, your circumstances, the amount of money that you have. You know, the so-called white man, racism, the government, oppression. We believe all these things are against us. I want to give you these 2 precepts, pow, to show you that none of these things really have an effect on us. It's the way you see yourself and the way you apply yourself. Well, let me show you what's against you. It's your identity and it's the enemy. Jeremiah 1:5.
Before I formed thee in the belly,
Right.
I knew thee.
Uh-huh.
And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
So, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what situation you was born in, regardless of your parents, regardless of what side of the track you was born on, regardless of the obstacles and the hills and the disappointments and pain and suffering in which you've been inflicted in your life, the Most High knew you. And he had put everything inside of you in order to fulfill the purpose and destiny on your life. Ephesians 6:12. So you don't gotta think there ain't no man, no government, no lie, no religion, no nothing can stop you. This is what is against you. Ephesians 6:12.
We wrestle not against flesh and blood.
You're not wrestling against no haters. You're not wrestling against people who bullying you on social media. You're not wrestling against people who don't understand you or believe in you. But you're wrestling against what?
We wrestle not against flesh and blood,
right?
But against principalities.
Against principalities.
Against power.
Against powers.
Against the rulers of the darkness
of
this world. Against spiritual wickedness.
Against what?
Spiritual wickedness
right?
In high places.
You see that? That's what's against you. That's your battle. Take your eyes off of people and look into what's inside of you. You understand? I wanted to make sure that was said. Now let's go to 2 Corinthians 10 and get Romans 13. We're gonna move through these quickly. Then we're gonna end y'all with some wisdom scriptures. We're gonna battle this thing now. 2 Corinthians 10 and Romans 13. Second Corinthians 10 and get Romans 13. 2 Corinthians 10, verse 3-5, D.
For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh.
So just because, you might be in the body, you may have to deal with physical pains and all this thing, but we walk not after the flesh. Go ahead.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal,
right?
But mighty through God to the pulling down the strongholds.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I took you to Ephesians 6:12 first, to show you what you're fighting against. And in order to fight against that, you got to have the perfect weapons. You got to have the proper weapon. You got to know who you're fighting, and you got to know how you're fighting. You can't go on a football court on a basketball court with a football. You understand? You can't go on a football field with a bat and a baseball. You got to know what game you're playing, and you got to have the proper tools in which to be able to make us be successful in that game. And if you're around here calling yourself Black, African American, Latino, Mexican, Native American, African, Kemet, whatever, Muslim, Christian, Baptist, Democrat, Republican, if you're calling yourself anything outside of Israel, you have already destroyed yourself automatically. You understand? Watch this. Verse 5.
Casting down imagination.
Casting down imaginations.
And every high thing.
And every high thing.
That exalts itself against the knowledge of God.
You see that? You see that? So everything that speak against what the Most High said in this word, you must have the arsenal and the words to bring it down. But if you're calling yourself or you living by or your lifestyle is based on anything outside of this, you are actually your own weapon of mass destruction against yourself. Do you understand that? You are your worst enemy. Every day you look in the mirror, if you call yourself Black or African American, you are your own worst enemy. Every day you call yourself a Christian, you are your own worst enemy. Every day you call yourself a Baptist or a Pentecostal or a Protestant, whatever the case may be, you are looking yourself in the mirror. Even if you're calling yourself the things of your past, like these self-help groups when they say, all right, my name is Laverne and I'm an alcoholic, and you ain't had a drink of liquor in 14 years. You cannot relate yourself to the past. Even with you, I be telling people all the time like this when people say I'm divorced. Listen, divorce is not a status. Either you're single or you're married. When you keep calling yourself divorced, you're putting yourself in a stigma based on what you were. You're holding on. That you're still connected to someone in your past that is supposed to be over and done with. Either you're single or you're married. There ain't no in between. You understand? Watch this. Read that again. Verse 5 says what?
Cast down imagination and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of God.
And do what?
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach.
And bringing into captivity every thought. That's what?
To the obedience of Hamashiach.
So you must make every thought obedient to the work of Yeshua. Go to Proverbs 16 and show them how to do that, D. This is how you bring your thoughts into obedience of what Christ said. I think it's Proverbs 16, verse 2. Commit thy ways.
Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established.
So if you it's Proverbs 16 and 3. So if you commit thy works, read it again. It says what?
Commit thy works unto the Lord.
If you commit thy works unto the Most High, go ahead.
And thy thoughts shall be established.
And then your thoughts will be established. See how that works? Right? Now, we're moving through these fast because I want to get to these wisdom scriptures. Let's go to Romans 13. But there's some arsenal for you. There's some bullets to put in your arsenal right quick. Right? Now, this right here, I'm going to have to take my time on a little bit right here because this is something that Most High showed me, and I was wilding off this last week. I was wilding. Romans 13, D, and let's start there, verse 10. Watch this.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Right.
Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
Now, read that again.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Right? Go ahead.
Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
Love does what?
Is the fulfilling of the law.
It's the fulfilling of the law. Now, watch this, Dick, what the Most High showed me last week. Hold your place there and go to Matthew 22. Watch this. I was wilding. Now, we went to this right here before, but he never showed me this in this manner. Because I never looked at verse 10 in that before. I went in another arena. That's why I told people, you can't be teaching people precept books, man. Because the precepts change every time you with the Most High. They don't stay the same, y'all. Watch this, what the Most High showed me, y'all. Now, read that again, D. So I want to stay in the spirit. Romans 13 and 10.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
For love is the fulfilling of the law.
She's to silence. They were gathered together.
Now, I gotta show you. Remind me to show you something after this. It's too deep. I can't bring this out unless the Most High just showed me something. That'll be too much. Woo! I want to so bad, but I can't. We'll break this down after. We might.
But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together.
Right.
Then
Now, so what happened was, Yeshua is dropping his doctrine, which we might have to go into tomorrow. So over Sunday, right? He was dropping his doctrine. And when the people heard it, they was astonished. This is the same manner now that you're seeing now that the Israelites are preaching the true gospel. The people are hearing this thing for the first time, and it's blowing their minds. So now, when it's gospel, the true gospel being preached, what happens now? Look at verse 34.
But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together.
So that's what's going on. Every time these videos come out with an Israelite ripping to shreds some pastor, all the pastors are gathering together like, yo, we got to do something. We got to do something. Is that not what's happening? That's why you're seeing all these so-called apologetic videos and all these guys coming out and bringing out. And now they're bringing you the wildest, most arrogant, wicked Israelites, putting them up on TV, putting them up on YouTube, so that the brothers and sisters in the Christian church will see them first before a real Christian, a real Israelite can get to them. They gathered together. Now, we got to do something, man. And then we'll look what happened. Verse 35.
Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying.
So notice that the whole purpose of the question was not to get understanding, did not see what his doctrine was. It was to tempt him. The same thing they be doing to us all the time. So you telling us that God just want everybody to go to hell. So you telling us that if I take my kid trick-or-treating, that God gonna send me and my kid to hell. So you telling me that celebrating the birth of Jesus is gonna send me to hell. Stupid questions all the time. Dumb questions. You understand? So sometimes questions, ladies and gentlemen, are not to get understanding. It's just to tempt you. That's what they were doing with Yeshua. Watch this. Verse 36.
Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
So the question was, what is the great commandment in what?
In the law.
Now, when these next verses that I'm about to read here, you will hear Christian pastors preach and say that this was a new doctrine going forth. They will never read verse 36. You notice how they do that? They always start down here at 37 and make it seem like that Yeshua said, going forth, this is all y'all got to do. That's what they do every time. Crafty counsel. But if you read verse 36, that lets you know that the one question that was asked was, what is the greatest commandment of the law? That was what was being discussed. Not a new thing going forth, but the actual law of the Most High. Right? Watch this. Verse 37.
Yeshua said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
That's the what?
This is the first and great commandment.
This is the first and great commandment. Go ahead.
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and all the prophets.
Now, before we go further, I got to slide this in, ladies, deep, for my Israelite brothers and sisters who don't care about Gentiles. Let's go to Leviticus 19, verse 18. Let's make sure we include all of that, right? No stone uncovered. Don't turn today, right? Let's make sure we get it out that all out today, right? Right? Leviticus 19. Oh, no. Leviticus 16, ain't it? One second, y'all. Yeah, Leviticus 19. This is Leviticus 19, but it's not verse 18. It's verse 33 and 34.
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, you shall not vex him.
Read that again.
And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, you shall not vex
So
him.
if a Gentile is in your community, you shouldn't stand outside his house or stand outside his church or stand on the street corner and tell him he's a devil. Okay? If you got Gentiles on your friends list, you shouldn't be posting all day talking about Gentiles are the devil. You're going to hell. You're going to serve me as slaves. That's in the law that you claim you follow. Watch this, verse 34.
For the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you.
He shall be what?
Shall be unto you as one born among you.
And what else you going to do?
And thou shalt love him as thyself.
You shall do what?
Love him as thyself.
Mm-hmm.
For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God.
That's not Levanter there. That's the Most High. Start out, make sure I put that out there, right? Now, back to Matthew 22 and read 38 again.
This is the first and great commandment.
Uh-huh.
And the second is like unto it.
Right?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So if it's a so-called white man standing next door to you with a Confederate flag waving out there, you still gotta love him. You still gotta try to be. You gotta be good to him. See that? Right? Want to make sure I brought that out. Verse 40.
On these two commandments.
On these two commandments.
Hang all the law.
Hang all the law.
And the prophets.
And the prophets. Yeshua never said it was done away with. Now, let's get this full understanding. When you go back to Romans 13, watch this. Now let's get that full understanding what Paul was saying here. Yeah, they're just trying to say if you love everybody, you straight, right? Right? Watch this. Now read Romans 13:10 with that understanding.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law.
So if I'm teaching my neighbor not to follow the law, do I love him? If I'm out there trick or treating in front of my neighbors, do I love them? If I'm hanging up Christmas ornaments outside of my house and my neighbors are seeing it, do I love them? If I'm inviting my neighbors out to go to Sunday service and not to the Sabbath, do I love them? You're not fulfilling the love if you're not teaching the law. Yet our people are too naive to see this, the lies, and too prideful to receive the truth. You see that? If my brother hired me to tell me to fix his pipes in his house, and I do shabby work and overtax him, do I love him? If I got this young shorty that I know she like me and she looking up to me and I'm using her for her body, do I love her? No, I don't want to hear about your book bags. I don't want to hear about you dropping turkeys off for Thanksgiving. I want to talk about what you're doing every day. If I'm posting videos on people on YouTube and on Facebook clowning them, do I love them? If I'm attacking Christians all the time in my posts, do I love them? You see that? But you're too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Verse 11.
And that knowing the time, and now is high time.
It's high time
to awake out of sleep.
To wake out of sleep.
And now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
You see that? We ain't got no time to waste, ladies and gentlemen. Verse 12.
The night is far spent.
The night is far spent.
The day is at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness.
Now we got to cast off the works of darkness.
And let us put on the armor of light.
Uh-huh.
Let us walk honestly.
Walk honestly.
As in the day.
Right.
Not in rioting.
Not in rioting.
Drunkenness.
Uh-huh.
Not in chambering.
Uh-huh.
And wantonness.
Right.
Not in strife and envy.
Mm-hmm.
But put ye on the Lord Yeshua Hamashiach.
Right.
And make not provision for the flesh.
And make not provision for the flesh.
To fulfill the lust thereof.
You see that? Now, that make them mad, don't it? Now, let's end this thing off with some wisdom scriptures. Excuse me, it's lucky. Let's get Sirach 6, and we're going to end off in Sirach 10. Want to make sure we give you some wisdom scriptures to help tear down these things. Remember, we got to bring every thought into obedience of Yeshua. Sirach has a good way of going in and getting the practical things that we may overlook sometimes, and giving clarity on those things. So we're gonna get Sirach 6 and Sirach 10. So if y'all don't have an apocrypha, you get your tablet, laptop, or phone, and go to Google, put in SIRACH, SIRACH, chapter 6, and then we're gonna go to chapter 10. Sirach 6 deep. Let's start at verse 32.
My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou will apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why the name of the title of the lesson is today. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. If we what? Read that again. Deacon says what?
If thou wilt, thou shalt be taught.
If you desire it, man, you can be taught. You just got to get that pride out of the way. We're going to deal with that when we get to Sirach 10. That's the way you get there. Wait till you see that, D. Go ahead.
And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding.
Mm-hmm.
If thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise.
Remember when we was over in Proverbs 18? It says, before honor is humility. Everybody want to be honored by the Most High. You want to be blessed, but you don't want to be humble. If you want to hear this thing, you'll get to understand it. Just take the time out and let yourself be taught. Pastors, just humble yourself. Listen, I promise, we put it out there all the time, and we do this for pastors. You come to us, or you in an area, and I connect you with some brothers. Those brothers have got the same mentality as us. They will never put your name out. You'll never have to mention our name or nothing. Just go back and teach your congregation the truth. This ain't about us. It's about our people. If that's what you're concerned with, listen, you don't never got to worry about giving me no glory, no credit, or nothing. You understand? It's about the nation. Iron sharpened iron. One man planted, one man watered. It's the Most High to give the increase. With mercy and truth, is all iniquity released. It's all started with the Most High. All glory, all honor, all praise to a higher by Hashem Yeshua, Roa. Not better day. You understand? Watch this. Verse 34.
Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise.
My sister again. I'm quoting my sister again. She always say, you cannot be an island unto yourself. Stand with the elders. Stop trying to be the smartest man in the room all the time. You understand? Put yourself among wise people. And what will he say? Verse 35.
Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door.
Let thy foot wear out the steps on his door. You understand? Go get that knowledge, brother. Go get that knowledge, sister. Go get it. You understand? We still in memes all the time. Get this knowledge, B. Watch this. Verse 37.
Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord,
right? And
meditate continually in his commandments,
right?
He shall establish thy heart and give thee wisdom at thy own desire.
At thy own desire. If you want it, you can get it. Question is, do you want it? Now, get ready for this one. Knuckle up. Sirach 10, verse 7.
Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity.
I'm just going to let that settle for a minute. Read that again, Deacon. Says what?
Pride is hateful before God and man.
Pride is hateful before the Most High and man. Go ahead.
And by both doth one commit iniquity.
You see that? This is the pride is the reason why all sin happens. You understand? Pride was at the heart of the first sin committed in the garden. Pride of life, the pride of what is the pride of life? The lust of flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. You should find that in 1 John the 2nd chapter. That's the recipe for all sin. The lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. And remember, when we ended off in Romans 13, Paul said, make no provision for the flesh. You see right here in Sirach 6, he said, meditate in the law. So if you're looking, you ain't going to be lusting with your eyes. If you hear this right here, you won't have the pride of life. You're tearing down all thoughts and bringing them into captivity to the obedience of Yeshua HaMashiach. See that? Watch this. Verse 8.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Read that again, man. Listen to what Sirach is bringing out, man.
Because of unrighteous dealings.
Because on unrighteous dealings,
injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
See, that's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, why wealth is never sustainable in our communities. We don't want to admit that. You'll have one part in life where this one part of the family is balling, and then by the time they get to maybe the second or third generation of that family, is gone. It's never sustainable because the way it was gotten or the way it was treated from that point going forward. You actually think that you can sell drugs and pass it on to your kids and they're going to have a good life? Are you serious? You think you can rob and steal? Kids said knuckle lot. You know what I'm saying? You think you can rob and steal and manipulate and take advantage of people through your business and your children's children are going to be blessed? Do you really believe that? And no, I'm not going to go there. 7, I'm not going to go there. Verse 9.
Why is the earth and ashes proud?
Why is the earth and ashes proud? He's asking like, we all came from the dirt. How dare we be proud? This is what the Most High is asking. Read that again. He says what?
Why is earth and ashes proud?
Uh-huh.
There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Than a covetous man. The Most High said there ain't nothing more wicked than that. Why?
For such and one steadeth his own soul to sale.
He sells his own soul because he wants what somebody else has. That's why I make sure that I went to Jeremiah 1:5 before we got here. Because if you know who you are, you know you've already been prepared, we've already been blessed to do what thus says the Most High, you won't feel the need to compromise along the way. But because our people are still thinking you're black, still thinking you're African American, still thinking you got to vote your way in and protest your way in, you're compromising. Because you want what the Gentiles got. You want what someone else got. And you're selling your soul to get it. You understand? Watch this. Go ahead.
Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
He casted away everything that gives him life. You understand? Watch this. Verse 10.
The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die.
You see that? So we all gonna go one way or another. Go ahead.
For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms.
Now, for a second time, D, let's go down to verse 12.
The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God.
Read that again, D.
The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God.
So at any point, ladies and gentlemen, you're walking in pride, you have already departed away from God. Jeremiah 17 and 5 says that. When man curses the man who trusted in man, departing from the Lord. That's your precept for that. Read that again. Deacon says what?
For pride is the beginning of sin.
Uh-huh.
Well, the beginning of pride is one departing from God.
Right.
And his heart is turned away from his maker.
And his heart is turned away from his maker. See, everybody wants to talk about that homosexuality is an abomination, but you don't realize that so is pride. Got to understand, ladies and gentlemen. Got to let that pride go, be. Watch this. Verse 11. No, Salaki, verse 13.
For pride is the beginning of sin.
For pride is the beginning of sin.
And he that has it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamity and overthrew them utterly.
Utterly. Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this. Verse 14.
The Lord has cast down the thrones of proud princes and set upon the meek in their stead.
Set up the meek.
Set up the meek in their stead.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord has plucked out the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place.
And that's coming. Kwam Yasharala.
The Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth.
You see that? Watch this.
He took some of them away and destroyed them and made their memorial to cease from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of women.
Mm-hmm.
They that fear the Lord are sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are more dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are deceivable seed.
I want you to read that again, D. I'm gonna take the mic right here. I'm gonna pull it up so it won't be no. I want y'all to listen to this. So Rock 10, verse 19. And I want you to break this for every Christian pastor, every Christian who says that the law is terrible.
The fear of the Lord are a sure seed.
The fear of the Lord are a sure seed.
They that love him are an honorable plant.
They that honor him is an honorable plant. So he says the fear of the Lord is how the thing is planted. Right? Right? But what? But they that what?
They that love him.
But they that love him,
an honorable plant.
1 John 5:3 says, the love of the Most High is what? To keep his commandments. Yeshua says, John 14:15, if you love me, you do what? Keep my commandments. So that's the only way you're going to become a plant. And a plant does what? Produce fruit. As we brought out on the other lesson, does the apple tree, produce fruit for the tree to eat the apples? Does the orange tree produce oranges for that orange tree to eat the oranges? No. The fruit that is produced is for others to eat. Now, read that again.
They that fear the Lord are a sure seed.
So they that fear the Most High, it starts with first fearing the Most High. Proverbs 1:7 says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all knowledge. Go ahead.
And they that love him an honorable plant.
They that love him becomes an honorable plant. Now that honorable plant becomes and grows fruit for other people to eat in order to receive the way of the Most High. But
they that regard not the law are dishonorable seed.
But they that regard not the law are a what?
Dishonorable seed.
Dishonorable seed.
And they that transgress the commandments are deceivable seed.
You see that? Do y'all see that? Deceivable. And all these people that teaching that the law is done away with have deceived the whole world. Have they not? Too naive to see the lies, yet too prideful to receive the truth. Watch this, dude. It gets better. It gets more. Watch this. Verse 20.
Among brethren, he is chief and is honorable.
Uh-huh.
So they are that fear the Lord in his eyes.
Uh-huh.
The fear of the Lord goeth before the obtaining of authority.
Right.
But roughness and pride is the losing thereof.
Read that again. Watch this.
The fear of the Lord goeth before the obtaining of authority.
Uh-huh.
But roughness and pride
is
the losing thereof.
Is the losing thereof. You see that? Watch this.
Wherefore, whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of the Lord.
Read that again.
Whether he be rich,
noble,
or poor, their glory is in the fear of the Lord.
The glory, ladies and gentlemen, is the fear of the Most High. You see that? Go ahead.
Well,
Verse 23.
It is not meet to despise the poor man that has understanding,
right?
Neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man.
So it's not good for you to break down a man and to dishonor a man just because he's poor, but he has understanding of the Most High. But it's also dumb to do what?
Neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man.
To magnify a sinful man. And is that what's going on? Every day, B. Magnifying sinful men. While telling people, man, you ain't even got no church. But magnifying dies to tell you, hey, come on out for the hallelujah night. See that? Come on down. Bring your kids out for the Easter egg hunt. See how that works? Watch this. Verse 24.
Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet is there none of them greater than he that fear the Lord.
None is greater. None is greater. No matter how much money you got, what your social status is. None is greater than those who fear the Most High. Go ahead.
Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service, and he that has knowledge will not grudge when he is performed.
Mm-hmm.
Be not overwise in doing thy business, and boast not thyself in the time of thy distress. Better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things than he that boasteth himself in want of bread. My son, glorify thy soul in meekness, and give it honor according to the dignity thereof.
Right.
Who will justify him that sinneth against his own soul?
Read that again.
Who will justify him that sinneth against his own soul?
Right.
Who will honor him that dishonors his own life? The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. How is he honored in poverty? How is he honored in poverty? How much more in riches?
How much more in riches? Go ahead.
He that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty?
Now I want you to read that again, D. So check out what he said there, because that's why I wanted to read it all the way through. And look at what he said.
He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches?
So if you're honored by the Most High when you ain't got nothing, how much more will the Most High honor you when he gives you money? But watch this.
He that is dishonorable in riches.
But he that is dishonorable, that ain't got no respect with money,
how much more in poverty?
How much more will he do it when he ain't got nothing? Y'all see that? Too naive to see the lies. Too prideful to see the truth. This afternoon, we'd like to give all praise and honor to Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya, Rorawak, everything that took place here today. We pray and hope that this message give us an opportunity to truly look at ourselves, to truly get an understanding of what the Most High is trying to do for us, to truly see where the Most High is trying to take us. It's only going to be, ladies and gentlemen, up to us to make a decision to gain the knowledge and the understanding the Most High has for us. It's time out for pointing fingers. It's time out for saying everybody else is the problem. It's time out for saying that this and that. It's time to do what we have to do. And until we do that, we're going to be losing. We're going to be losing. So I want to hope and pray that this message will stay with you today. I pray and hope that it will give you some understanding on what the Most High asked for us, and it will assist us in becoming better for the Most High. Because regardless of whom and what, at the end of the day, the only thing we're going to be able to answer for is ourselves. And we got to make sure that we line up with his will. Want to put you guys on. Be mindful that tomorrow at 5 p.m. we're going to be doing our Soulful Sundays, and I want you guys to help me out with this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be Soulful Sundays. For those who don't know, is a message that we do the first Sunday in every month, where we minister strictly to Christians. We meet them where they are and try to assist them in getting understanding of what the Most High has for them. If you have Christians in your family on your friends list, please invite them to join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Tomorrow's message is entitled, "Have You Been Catfished?" Have you been catfished? And for those who know, catfish is when someone has been pretending to be someone else in order to take advantage of someone. Well, we're going to show them tomorrow that Cesar Borgia who the world knows to be Jesus Christ, catfished the whole world and they believed that he was God. You understand? We're going to go into this whole apologetics thing. And we're going to show people what's going on with that, and we hopefully give them an understanding so they can get out of this blind state and wake up to the truth. So please help us out with that. We also want to invite you all to our Feast of Dedication celebration that along Better Day Ministries, along with Restoration Center, will be hosting a Feast of Dedication, and that is December the 1st at 2:30. The address is 309 North Washington Street, 309 North Washington Street, and that's in Wadesboro, Wadesboro, North Carolina. If you hit us up on here or up on Facebook, and we will get you guys RSVP, right? And one other announcement, next Sabbath at 12 p.m., next Saturday at 12 p.m., our brothers and sisters, Pastor Ken and Rhonda Schools, will be having a Sabbath gathering next Saturday in Charlotte, North Carolina at 131 Stetson, Stetson Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. 131 Stetson Drive in Charlotte, North Carolina. That Sabbath gathering will begin at 12 p.m. So those things are coming up, and also our Transformation Tuesday will be continuing. Our Q&A will be next Tuesday, 7:30. Be on the lookout for that. We got some great questions that's already been submitted. Already, I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. So just those are the announcements. We just want to make sure everybody get those information, and we love to continue the fellowship with you guys. Please share this information, ladies and gentlemen, with your family. As we always say, ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We're praying for you, and know that we are here for you. Continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always about to the work of the Most High. Barakatah Shalom.
My mind goody, who that peeping in my window? I'm fully loaded with them scripts, I brought a spin down. Deeply rooted, I ain't there where the wind blows. Only rolling with the righteous, yeah, one side. Only standing with you, who are color one side. The two-faced hater brought a color one side. I'm only sticking with the law, yeah, one side. Yahuwah got the scene up before a lawful level. I love the transparent type, not just solve a puzzle. Always going for the win, trying to beat the buzzer. Before I learned to hold my weight, I had to feel the struggle. Feeble hands, I done felt that type of way before. A wish sandwich, I done had the type of day before. Hey, I be who I had my heart, I had to take an oath. Got me sudden on these devils like I'm making soap. When they think I'm against the rope, I hit the rope a dope. Associated with the lamb, I don't know a goat. Main target is the kingdom, keep it in the scope. I seen the shady from the aftermath in the scope. Baby, hot pan, need some other mix. Hot straight up out the furnace, but I wasn't crisp. Yahuwah fire had to learn to embody that. I did. Big manna on my plate, I eat a lot of that.
Barakatah Shalom.